Hello there, welcome to another video. First off, I'll start by thanking everyone who has subscribed. It's not many of you, but you know, it's quality over quantity, isn't it? Once I'm in the woods, I'm going to find somewhere to set a tarp up, get nice and dry, and hopefully get a fire going. I'll see you up there. Hello again. Well, I've arrived in the woods. I was ideally hoping to camp in this open area here, but I can't get the bike through the mud, and my trainers are already soaked. I had to come down here anyway because I've been stacking some wood up during my previous visits, and I've been left. I've left myself a nice present. Big piece of standing wood. It's been here about a month. So I'm going to take that back over to the more sheltered camp I've got. But yeah, there's loads lying around here. Tonight I'm planning for roast beef and Yorkshire pudding. I've done roast meat and I've got my normal spit, so that shouldn't be a problem as long as I don't run out of wood. But the Yorkshire pudding, I've never seen anyone successfully do one over a campfire. I've got the ingredients. I need to make up the batter whilst the meat is cooking. Take it from there. Well, it's a windy old day. Look at the state of my trainers. Caked. Just need to get the tarpaulin put up and configured in a way that it stops the wind causing an issue with the fire. Traditional way to tell which way the wind is coming from is to lick your finger and just see which way is the coldest. It's definitely coming in this way. I think I might put a guy line up and then have it slanted in this way. Running out of time, it's getting dark. Better get a move on. I've spent the last 10 minutes or so reconfiguring to close that gap there because the wind was coming in both directions. Got a bit of bungee holding that in there, which I think is going to take the worst of it tonight. We'll see how it goes. Okay, it's getting really late now. I've not even chopped any wood up yet. Just need to get a fire going first. Now I've cheated today. I've bought a bag of kindling from the supermarket because everything else is soaking wet. So I've got to get a bit of fire plug and scrape a bit off. Bingo. Chuck a little bit more fire plug in just to pep it up. Yes. That took like forever. I've just noticed there's a strange flickering with my head torch. That's better. But, yeah, I don't need that on now. Whilst that fire is building up its temperature and some coals, I'm going to tidy up under here and make some kind of sleep system for the evening. And I'll see you in about an hour or so. Welcome back. It's about hour and a half since I turned the camera off, cut a bit more wood, and even chopped up, it's still quite damp, so I'm adding a bit of dry kindling in with the damp wood. So yeah, it's a bit smoky, but it's still going. It's going to be slow with all this wind, but I cut excuse me, a very small joint. Well, I bought a big joint and then I cut a small piece off because I'm always going overboard with my food and putting too much in there, and the wind is due to pick up. It's about 30 miles an hour at the moment, gusting 40. It's going to go up to about 40 miles an hour later, they say. The tarp is holding up. And I've got my Christmas jumper on. So, Merry Christmas. Everybody else seems to be doing a Christmas camp of some type, so I thought I'll get in on the game. But yeah, no, their videos are way better than this will be, but I don't mind. It's about getting out there and just being with the elements and having a nice can. Rhubarb and custard pale ale, only 4.5%. Going easy tonight, especially with a massive flame very close to a lot of plastic. That flame's got really big. I've got loads of storage space. I'll just move the camera around so you can see. Yeah. It's going to be cold, it's going to be noisy and windy, but I've got plenty of room. It's really nice actually. I can see why people do tarp camps. It's all this area, you can have a fire right by there. Can't really do that in a tent. So yeah, why am I doing this when I could be tucked up at home, watching TV in the warm, eating junk, playing games on the computer. I think I do it for the same reasons everyone else on YouTube does. I think they get a bit sick and tired of the same old thing, and they want to touch grass now and again. Make them feel a bit more alive. Or scared. Same thing really. And the more I do this, yeah, it builds confidence, I think. I'm not sure how these transferable skills can be applied in the workplace. But yeah, if anyone needs meat cooking in the office on an open fire, I'm your guy. It's raining again out there. Won't last, thankfully. I wouldn't have done tonight if it was going to rain all night, because you just obviously can't cook. But a little bit of drizzle now and again should be fine. I'm really surprised the tarpaulin's held up. That's not because of the brand or anything, that's just my ineptitude at doing stuff like this. I was looking at my analytics earlier, and I could see my videos have like a 10% retention rate, which basically means I'm boring, or what I'm filming is boring, or everything is boring. That doesn't surprise me, actually. I'm quite a boring person. It's only when you fire me up about something I'm particularly passionate about that I become less boring. But even then, the subjects are probably quite boring. I can't win. That's why I'm out in the woods a few days before Christmas on my own. That said, there is a peacock around here somewhere, which you will have seen in my last video, or at least my subscribers would. Or at least now you will if you decide to look back on it and subscribe. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe, because that is just so annoying. I hate it when people ask you to subscribe. In fact, if I bore you, unsubscribe, because why waste your time? As I was saying, there's a peacock around here, and I've bought him snacks. I hope he turns up sometime. He won't. I can't see it turning up in the middle of the night with the fire going and the smell of meat cooking. It's probably freaked out. But I might see him in the morning, as I did last time. I tell you what, it's a lot warmer under here than it is out there. I miss my tent, actually. I know it was noisy and confined. Leave that there, I think. Cheers. Oh. Even with a fleece and my Christmas jumper and a t-shirt on underneath, oh, it's cold. You get to a point in life where you reach a certain comfort level and it gets boring and you need to spice life up a bit. Yeah, the last few years have been an interesting time because I've camped a lot, but I haven't filmed any of it. And I've just been learning as I go until I get to the point where I'm confident enough to start filming. And I couldn't have done it without quite a few people on YouTube who were an inspiration. And I really want to give them a mention today. And that would be Kent Survival, Wiltshire Man, Simon, Bloke in the Woods, English Woodsman, Grizzly Gaz, Ben Hikes Camps, Paul Mesner, and Wild Bear. I'm sure there was another one, but I can't remember it off the top of my head, and I had to write those down. Well, it's a tough choice to say who is the biggest inspiration, but probably Kent Survival. Andy is so knowledgeable. And not to say the others aren't just as fantastic. I think I just discovered Andy at Kent Survival first. And then that led me on to Wiltshire Man, Sandy. And Paul Mesner, I think, would stand out for me because he's had, quite, well, he's publicly mentioned his sort of mental health on a few occasions. And how he really has to sort of build himself up to come out. I had to do the same today. It took me 6 hours to get the guts to just get out and do this. And now I'm here, I'm sort of committed really, until the morning when the trains start back up. I hope. It's Christmas Eve tomorrow. Do you like boring? Give me a thumbs up if you do. Now, I suspect I'm going to completely fail at making a Yorkshire pudding, but it's trying that counts, isn't it? 3 eggs, flour, 100 grams, milk, bit of salt and pepper, and some fat. So my plan is to put the fat in here, get it smoky hot, pour my mix in, put that on there, and use a few paper clips to clamp it together to retain the heat. When I take those paper clips off, I should have some semblance of a Yorkshire pudding in there. I'd like to point out that I do all of this without a car. It's all by bike and train. I carry all this stuff. And I'm not showing off. What I'd like to do is inspire people who have got a bike, who have never gone wild camping, who think, oh my goodness, how can I take all that stuff with me? You can. It's really easy. You just gotta Take your time. Yeah, it's not quite the same configuration as I started with. It's doing a job. Despite the rain and the wind, that beef is coming on lovely. So the veg is done. I've got the sausages, bacon, so you know what that means. It doesn't matter if I can't have them. The beef will be plenty. Hopefully it's warm enough to catch. There we go. I just had to take the beef off the spit. It's perfect, well, it's slightly overdone, which is amazing considering. Just got to find some foil to wrap it up in, and my water's boiled, and the veg is well on its way. And next thing is bacon and sausages. Can't remember what the name is. Pigs in blankets, that's what I'm after. So they'll go on next. Weather's really picked up. I wasn't expecting a storm tonight, but I've got one. My beef is done. My pigs in blankets are in that tray, sizzling away. My veg is done. So it's just the Yorkshire now. That's what they call smoking hot. I'm going to pop that over the fire now. The Yorkshire My pigs in blankets and the beef are all on the fire now, or by the fire, wrapped in foil. Once they're done, I can let that fire burn out. Gravy. Half of my pigs in blankets have not been cremated, and that just leaves the Yorkshire pudding. I don't think that's going to come out very well. I've stuck it in the tray, in the guard. That's the last of my wood in there as well. Neat. I've already been nibbling on it. It's that good. Look at that. Horseradish sauce. I'm not going to wait for that Yorkshire. I'm too hungry and it's too late. And that looks pretty amazing if you ask me. Too hot. That's amazing. And it's just falling apart. Just gone midnight and it's really picking up out there, but I've had my food, nice full belly, the fire's burning itself out, and let's see if the Yorkshire pudding worked. Well, kind of. Let's have a look. The batter was too thick, wasn't it? Yeah, that's not done. Oh well, better luck next time. I have a backup plan. Strawberry cheesecake. Well, that's me all cooked up for the night now. It's looking very festive in here. Looking at the radar, looks like we're about halfway through. Almost everything worked out. It's quite flat. There's a lot of lumps and bumps, but I'm used to that. And I'll see you in the morning. Night. Morning. It's coming up to 7 o'clock in the morning now. I could have kept sleeping, but conscious my train is in 2 hours, and it's going to take me at least an hour and a half to pack up and get there. Everything's packed up except the tarp. I'll do that last. Put the bike out and make sure I've got everything. After that, food and a few cans and hot chocolate. I didn't stay awake for long. I feel quite energised actually. Let's have a look over the field. Held up well. Not much to see really. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to stay long enough to find the peacock again and give him some breakfast, sadly. I've got to get all this cleared away, packed up before the rain really kicks in again. Try these. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Yeah. As you can see, my friend has arrived. Come and see what I was doing. You're very tame now, aren't you? Yeah. What I've given him there is a concoction of nuts, seeds, a whole bag of cranberries, and a banana. And he definitely likes those cranberries, don't you, mate? Happy Christmas, mate. Hope you have a good one. And I hope you have a good one too. Thanks for watching another video. See you soon.